You've seen the videos. Seniors stop paying these bills. After 65, you're legally exempt. No more tax on your Social Security. The government doesn't want you to know you can just stop paying. They are some of the most watched money videos on the entire internet. Millions and millions of views. And I need to tell you something gently before you act on a single one of them. Most of it is not true. There is no law that lets you stop paying your bills the day you turn 65. Your Social Security does not magically become tax-free at 65. That one's been false for 40 years. And that brand new law everyone says ended the tax on Social Security. It didn't do that either. But here's why I'm not just here to burst a bubble. Because buried under all that noise, there is asterisk a short, real list of breaks that genuinely exist for people over 65. Real money. The catch, the thing none of those viral videos ever tell you, is that almost every real one is something you have to file for. It does not show up on its own. And by the end of this, you'll be able to tell, in about 30 seconds, whether any your exempt claim is real or just bait. So that's the deal I'm making with you. First, I'm going to clear out the 3 biggest myths in this whole corner of the internet, the ones that can actually get you in trouble if you believe them. Then I'm going to walk you through the breaks that are real and tell you the exact form to fill out or the exact office to call for each one. If you're over 65, this is about your money. If your mom or your dad is and they've been forwarding you these stop paying videos, this is about theirs. Stay with me because the real list is worth a lot more than the fake one ever was. Myth number 1, the big one. At 65, your Social Security stops being taxed. I wish. The truth is that whether your Social Security gets taxed has almost nothing to do with your age and everything to do with your income. The IRS uses a number it calls your combined income. That's your other income, plus any tax-free interest, plus half of your Social Security. And here are the lines that actually matter. If you're single and that combined number goes over $25,000, up to half of your benefits can be taxed. Go over 34,000 and up to 85% of them can be taxed. For a married couple, those two lines are 32,000 and 44,000. Nothing about turning 65 changes that. And here's the part that should make you a little angry. Those dollar lines, 25,000, 32,000, were written into the law decades ago, and they were never adjusted for inflation. Not once. So every single year, as benefits and savings rise with the cost of living, more and more seniors quietly cross those lines and start owing tax on money they were told would be tax-free. The threshold doesn't move. You just drift over it. So no, 65 is not a magic tax-free birthday. Anyone who tells you it is selling you a feeling, not a fact. Myth number 2, the one that can actually hurt you. After 65, you're legally exempt. Stop paying these bills. Your electric bill, your water bill, your medical bills. I have watched these videos imply that there's some law on the books that just switches your obligations off at a certain age. There isn't. There is no federal law that makes a 65-year-old exempt from paying their own bills. If you stop paying your utility company because a video told you you were exempt, you will get a late notice, then a shut-off notice, the same as anyone else. If you stop paying a medical bill, it can still go to collections. Age by itself cancels nothing. Now I want to be fair, because there's a grain of truth that these videos stretch into a lie. Some asterisk states and some asterisk utility companies do run real assistance programs, senior discounts, low-income energy help, medical hardship plans. Those are real. But they are not automatic, they are not nationwide, and almost all of them are based on your income, not just your age, and you have to apply for them, one by one with the specific company or agency. Check if your utility has a senior program is honest advice. You're legally exempt, stop paying is how you end up in the dark with a disconnection fee. Myth number 3 is the newest, and it's everywhere right now. In 2025, a big tax law passed, and within days the headlines and the videos were screaming that seniors no longer pay tax on Social Security. That is not what the law did. I read the IRS's own explanation of it, and there is nothing in there that changes how Social Security is taxed. Not a word. What the law actually created is a asterisk separate asterisk thing, a new deduction for people 65 and older, and I'm going to cover that in a minute because it's one of the asterisk real asterisk breaks. But a deduction and no more tax on Social Security are two completely different animals. The rules we just covered in myth number 1, still exactly the same. So if you've been telling your spouse that your Social Security is tax-free now because of the new law, I'm sorry, but somebody oversold it to you. We'll do a whole episode just on this one, because the gap between the headline and the actual statute is wide enough to drive a truck through. Okay, deep breath. That's the hard part, clearing out what isn't true. Now for the part that actually puts money back in your pocket. Because here's the honest answer to the question those videos pretend to answer. Yes, there are real breaks for seniors. There just aren't many asterisks, they're not automatic, and every single one of them has a form or an office attached to it. That's actually the good news, because a break you can asterisk file for is a break you can actually get. Let's go claim them. Real break number 1, and the easiest to miss, the extra standard deduction. Almost everybody knows there's a standard deduction, the chunk of income the government doesn't tax. What a lot of people don't realize is that the moment you turn 65, you qualify for an asterisk extra asterisk slice on top of it. A few $1,000s of additional income, shielded from tax, just for being 65 or older. The IRS sets the exact amount each year and adjusts it for inflation, so I'm not going to quote you a number that might be stale by the time you watch this. But it is real, it is yours, and it is automatic if asterisk, and this is the catch if your tax return correctly shows your age. Check the box, or make sure whoever does your taxes, or whatever software you use, knows you're 65. People leave this money on the table every year simply because the age box never got checked. The form is your regular 1040. That's it. Real break number 2 is the new one, and this is the thing that law actually did, stripped of the hype. Starting with the 2025 tax year, there's a new deduction of up to $6,000 for each person who's 65 or older. If you're married and you're both 65, that can be $12,000 between you. You don't have to itemize to get it. It works whether you take the standard deduction or not, and it stacks on top of that extra standard deduction I just mentioned. So far, fantastic. Now the fine print the cheerleaders skip. First, it's temporary, it's written to exist only for the tax years 2025 through 2028, and then it's scheduled to disappear unless they extend it. Second, it phases out for higher incomes. It starts shrinking once your income passes $75,000 as a single person, or $150,000 for a couple, so the wealthiest seniors get little or none of it. And third, this is the one nobody says, a deduction only helps you if you actually owe tax. If your income is low enough that you already owe nothing, a $6,000 deduction saves you exactly nothing, because there was nothing there to reduce. So this is a genuine, real break for a lot of middle-income retirees, and it is not the Social Security is now tax-free, miracle it got dressed up as. You claim it right on your tax return, and the IRS even put out an eligibility checker for it. Real break number 3 is the closest thing to stop paying a bill that genuinely exists, and it's property tax. Almost every state in the country offers some kind of property tax relief for older homeowners. It comes in 3 flavors. An asterisk exemption, they knock a chunk off the taxable value of your home. A asterisk credit, they hand some of it back, usually if your income is under a cap. Or my favorite, a asterisk freeze, your home's assessed value stops climbing, so your tax bill stops climbing with it, even as home values go up around you. For a lot of seniors on a fixed income, that freeze is the difference between keeping the house and not. But here is the catch that the "you're exempt" crowd never mentions, and it's the whole ball game. This is almost never automatic. You have to apply. There's usually a deadline, often early in the year, and in a lot of places, if you miss it, you miss that year entirely, no going back to claim it later. And every single detail, the age, the income limit, the size of the break, the deadline, varies by state, and sometimes by county. So I can't give you one magic number, and you should be suspicious of anyone who pretends there is one. What I asterisk can give you is exactly where to go, your county assessor's office or your state's Department of Revenue. Call them or look them up and ask the exact words. What property tax relief do you offer for seniors, and what's the deadline to apply? That one phone call is worth more than every stop paying your property tax video combined. Real break number 4 is one that's true, and almost nobody understands asterisk why asterisk it's true. You know that Social Security tax, the 6.2% that came out of every paycheck your whole working life. Here's the thing. That tax only ever applied to wages asterisk. Money you earned from a job. It never applied to your Social Security checks, your pension, your withdrawals from an IRA or a 401k, or the interest and dividends on your savings. So once you stop working for a paycheck, you stop paying that particular tax entirely automatically. That part the videos get asterisk almost asterisk right. But here's where they trip. Paying no Social Security asterisk payroll tax is not the same as being income tax exempt. You can still owe regular income tax on that pension or that IRA withdrawal and on your Social Security itself. Remember myth number 1. 2 different taxes. One of them stops. The other one doesn't. Don't let anyone blur them together. So how do you protect yourself from the next 40 videos that promise you're secretly exempt? I'm going to give you a test that works every single time. Here it is. A asterisk real asterisk senior break always names 2 things, a specific form and a specific office. The extra standard deduction, Form 1040, the age box. The new deduction, your tax return, the IRS checker. The property tax freeze, your county assessor's application. Real breaks have a paper trail because that's how you actually get them. A asterisk myth never does. It says you're exempt, stop paying. They don't want you to know, and then it never ever tells you where to file. And the reason is simple, there's nowhere to file because the exemption doesn't exist. So next time just ask the screen one question, where's the form and which office? If the video can't answer that, close it. It's not a tip, it's bait. And the reason this bait is everywhere is honestly just math. The word exempt gets clicks, so people keep making the title whether or not there's anything true behind it. Let me bring it all together because there's one thread running through every bit of this. The no tax on Social Security at 65 line is false. It's about your income, and the goalposts never move. There's no law that lets you just stop paying your bills. The shiny new law didn't make Social Security tax-free. But the extra standard deduction is real. The new $6,000 deduction is real for a lot of folks. The property tax break can be real and significant, and the payroll tax really does stop. The difference between the lies and the truth was never your age. It was whether there's a form behind the promise. The myths want you to feel exempt. The real breaks want you to file. Be the person who files. So here's your one move this week. Pull out last year's tax return and make sure your age is on it, that you're getting the extra standard deduction and that new senior deduction if you qualify. Then make one phone call to your county assessor or your state's Department of Revenue and ask what property tax relief they offer for seniors and when it's due. 20 minutes, and you'll have claimed more real money than any stop paying everything video could ever give you. One honest note before you go. I'm giving you the rules as they stand, not personal advice. And tax law changes, and property tax relief is different in every state and county. So before you make a move, run it past a CPA, your county assessor, or an elder law attorney who knows your exact situation. I'll put the real IRS pages, the eligibility checker, and how to find your state and county offices down in the description, the actual sources, so you can check me. And do one thing for me. Send this to one person over 65 who's been sharing those stop paying, your exempt videos, your mom, your dad, the neighbor, the friend from church. They are not getting the real breaks they're entitled to because they're chasing the fake ones nobody can actually claim. One share could put real money back in their pocket and keep them from stopping a bill they very much still owe. That's what we're here for. I'll see you in the next one.